Hey, stop scrolling. Something broke loose this morning, and you need to hear me before the narrative gets spoon-fed to you. Big things, violent things are moving fast. And if you think any of this is random, man, you haven't been paying attention. This morning, a rooftop sniper opened fire on the Dallas ICE field office. 2 detainees were killed, another in critical condition. The shooter self-deleted. Okay. Now, federal agents recovered spent casings and unused round, and multiple outlets are reporting the rounds had words anti-ICE engraved on and so on. That's not a random act. That's intentional messaging carved into brass. This is propaganda by the bullet, and it deserves to be treated as such. Okay.
So apparently it occurred when detainees were being brought into the Sally Port. This shooter, we're not sure exactly where he was located, but was able to shoot into that Sally Port and struck at least 3 people. That shooter now is down from the self-inflicted wound. So we may not know exactly what his plan was, what they were intending to do, other than to shoot people this morning at an ICE facility. We're learning more as we get it. And particularly, we're interested, obviously, in learning about the conditions of the 3 individuals that were struck this morning.
Yeah, that's I-35, the east side.
Well, similar things, man. So the shell casings here. This is we're starting to see a pattern recognition. Okay, now the shooter is the typical 29-year-old Joshua John. Authorities say that he fired from a nearby rooftop vantage point aimed at detainees being processed at a ICE facility. Now, odd that he was anti-ICE, but he was shooting at detainees. Weird, right? Now, per press interviews, they describe him as quiet, reserved, the type of guy who blends in. That's the same profile we keep hearing hundreds of similar cases, right? And the other thing is that we'll probably be told, oh, he was on the FBI's radar, right? Maybe he had a Daniel defense. But the physical evidence is here, man. The engraved rounds, right? That changes the analysis from lone nut to political statement. The FBI is treating the attack like targeted ideological violence. That's the official posture of the latest releases. Now, don't walk away thinking this is just an isolated incident, okay? You put this next to what happened to Charlie Kirk a few weeks back and tell me you don't see a pattern. Kirk's assassination had weird timelines, missing or contradictory footage, witnesses who surfaced and vanished. You didn't hear about this, did you? Remember the furry buddy, the boyfriend to Tyler Robinson? Charlie Kirk suspect's trans lover has vanished. Shaken neighbors share fresh fears, and new photos show abandoned home. Nobody's there. Was it all just a setup, right? We have this being released now. Now, some people around Kirk, the Kirk suspect, right? This guy, just things are suspicious. Also, it's been reported that we've had vehicles in and out, sketchy vehicles, out of state tags, right? Now, neighbors were kind of weirded out about it. Now, this is the lover that Tyler Robinson supposedly gave the whole timeline to the assassination, right? But the scenes went cold fast, man. I'm not inventing the chatter. You can find the headlines. Call it what it is. Messy, theatrical, and full of holes. Just like the whole thing. You know, it's kind of funny. Like people, we were following up on the Charlie Kirk shooting and for a few videos, and we were talking about the entrance from here. A guy came out, slowed down the footage. We saw it. We talked about it. We just didn't show the footage on YouTube because they will come after me. Maybe not other people. They would come after me like crazy, and I didn't want that. When you have these rooftop shooters, engraved rounds, vanished witnesses, selective footage, and you don't get to be innocent and ask for patience, you get suspicious, man. The more of these theatrical political acts that pop up, the more you should ask who benefits from this theater, who profits from the narrative control, because whoever controls the tape controls outrage, and whoever controls outrage controls the policy and the public sentiment. Now, the policy here is scary because we keep having the shootings. Is something going to come with gun control? We don't know, right? Now, let's walk through what happened with Dallas again cleanly, okay? Early morning shots from a rooftop. Detainees in the processing area, 2 dead, another critical dead, okay? Evidence recovered on the scene shows these rounds with anti-ice lettering. That changes the motive assessment instantly. Whether John acted alone or was inspired by, I don't know, fringe groups or connected to a broader cell, the engraving signals intent to send a message. That's the physical fact, okay? Everything else, motives, network, accomplices, is obviously possible. We don't know. Now, for the part your enemies in the mainstream won't like is this lines up with the pattern we're seeing more and more. Targeted symbolic violence meant to spark reaction rather than to purely take people out. Suburban assassins, rooftop marksmen, engraved messages. It's a theater and it's a tactic, right? We saw the same theatrical elements in the Kirk case. Now, the problem I see is that I think this is going to increase. Could it be even outside sources, right? Like the nonsense the FBI tried to hand out about Kirk. Candace Owens, she has came out and said the same. There's footage that contradicts the official story. There's also a rooftop witness filmed a apparent shooter just seconds before impact. That shooter apparently shows the timing conflicts with the sequence that the FBI gave in public. If that's true, it's not just sloppy police work, it's narrative management. She also came out and said that you have this guy that the witness saw in mask, complete tactical gear, looked of foreign descent. Okay. You have to ask yourself, maybe this is a bigger picture. That's what we've been saying. So we've been saying all along, and it doesn't match the stories. It doesn't matter. The swamp has not been drained, so all those people that was under the Biden DOJ is still there, right? Then, not even 2 weeks after Kirk's assassination, you had Hillary Clinton on television, as if on cue, dialing the volume of the political smear, saying Christian white men are primary danger to this country. Check it out.
And I'm proud of the fact that we have always been a work in progress. You know, we haven't gotten to the more perfect union, and we fought a civil war over part of it. Mm-hmm. And people have been protesting, you know, for hundreds of years that, you know, things were not as they should be, given our ideals and how we should be moving toward them. So I think that's what makes us so special as a country. And the idea that you could turn the clock back and try to recreate a world that never was, dominated by, you know, let's say it, white men of a certain persuasion, a certain religion, a certain point of view, a certain ideology, it's just doing.
She said it. And that is elite class framing the media is drifting towards, okay? You take raw acts of violence, attribute them to entire demographic, and then use that to justify censorship, surveillance, political crackdowns. That's how the narrative architects work. They ramp up moral panic, polarize the audience, and then sell more control as a prescription. Oh, man, just for your safety. Don't fall for it, especially with the increased gun violence. I actually saw a trans group talking about arming up to defend themselves against the military, like in LA and so on. Now, you can thread this into darker theories people are whispering about because you want to hear them. You need to see the feed raw, right? Some of this is calling maybe MK Ultra 2.0, psychological operations, agent provocateurs, controlled dissidents, or even intelligence run false flags, right? And I'll be blunt, those are extreme claims and require receipts, but here's the operating truth. When the official story doesn't match the visible footage or eyewitness accounts, and when people close to suspects vanish under suspicious circumstances, the vacuum gets filled by theories. That boyfriend of Tyler Robinson, if he was the shooter, wouldn't this guy be complicit because he didn't turn him in? Then we have news on the street about New York City, complete shutdown possible. Okay, check it out.
Recent weeks, investigators tracked those threats to multiple locations in and around New York, where they said they seized hundreds of servers and more than 100,000 SIM cards, enough equipment to send 30 million anonymous text messages every minute, overwhelming.
To overwhelm communications, to just shut it down. They're saying they believe it's China. We're prepping for a war outside this country as well as inside. We have the lone radicals that turn out to be 20-some-odd-year-old white guys all the time, maybe inspired by online rhetoric or organized provocation, meant to justify policy changes. Which is it? Right? It's you got to look at the common denominators, okay? There's very similarities between these two. The same ideological path. At which point is this operation more theatrical, more planned than just random? I don't believe it's random. You got to look at, whether you buy the conspiracy stuff or not, or maybe you're a hard skeptic. This is about method and motive. The method is clear. Planned sniper attacks from above. The motive for now looks ideological due to the anti-IS engraving. But who benefits is the next layer to analyze. That's where we start taking control of the narrative, right? Figuring it out. The FBI can choose which footage to release, which timelines to confirm, and which witnesses to spotlight. When those choices consistently produce the sanitized storyline that minimizes inconvenient evidence, you have to suspect deliberate curation, right? And what do? Throw your hands up? No, man, you get pragmatic. You operate like a gray man, prepared, calm, invisible, and useful, because I believe this stuff is only going to intensify. Things are going to get worse before they get worse. It's why I talk about gray man all the time. It's tradecraft. It's not cosplay or paranoia. It's discipline. It's learned habits that lower your profile and increase your survivability. It's the difference between being a target and being a spectator. Now, here's the real field craft I want you to run today in plain terms, because I know you're going to get a spike in movement, protests, and opportunists trying to create spectacle. I'm sure it's coming. It's coming. They're saying that certain groups are the worst people in society. Work on your appearance discipline first. If you want to move safely, blend in neutral clothing, right? Save the tactical shit for training and ops, the gym. Don't be a walking billboard for the internet, okay? Second is route variation, time and randomization. Don't move like clockwork. Change your routes, alternate your coffee shops, stagger your drop-offs. Predictability is a targeter's best friend. Third, constant environment scanning. When you enter a building, look up, note potential vantage points, especially if you're going to an event like this, where there's mass groups of people. Look for rooftop silhouettes, open silhouettes, right? If the Dallas shooter used the rooftop, then reconnaissance of rooftops matter. Fourth, communications discipline. Do not post live location updates while you're out en route, rendezvousing with people. Delay your post until you're safe. You're on vacation, wait till you get back. Keep a single trusted check-in who knows your plan. Fifth, medical readiness. Carry a small trauma kit, a tourniquet, compressed gauze. Learn to stop the bleed basics. Most people die from bleeding in the first 5 minutes. Being ready saves lives, okay? 6 is evidence preservation, because you may be involved in something. If you capture video or photos, keep the original, save the metadata. Do not upload compressed copies to social media platforms that strip timestamps. If you care about accountability, preserve the chain of custody and hand that material to your lawyer, vetted journalist, right? Not to be curated by the FBI freaking eye. Okay? And yeah, man, I sell the Gray Man protocols, right? You can get hard copy of the volume 1, get a digital volume 1 and digital volume 2, right? And obviously I got the financial warfare protocol that is way more than a financial book. Someone commented, you can go look at blackscoutsurvival.com. They commented, it's like John Rambo, David Ramsey, and Robert Kiyosaki wrote a book because it's about being hard to kill and all that. To me, it's the most important book that I've written. Okay. But obviously these things that I'm doing to help you, man, this stuff is teachable and it's practical. If you want the deep dive, go pick them up. Okay. If not, just watch my content. If you don't have the money, just watch my content. I'm always trying to give you the information, right? Now you got Candace Owens saying she has reputable witnesses have footage that conflicts with FBI timelines. You have people on forums pointing at the same oddities. I'm pointing at it. Vanished partners, cleared houses, mysterious cars, selective footage. The rifle doesn't match up. Some commenters are even calling the person associated with Kirk suspect maybe an operative. I mean, you never know. It's a ghost. They weren't brought in, right? He wasn't brought in. A lot of this is to shift your attention, though, and you got to be careful because they try to do that. They try to shift attention with new stories every day, right? Now, and the thing is, all this stuff stinks to high heaven, dude. It just really does. I don't trust any of it. None of it makes sense, okay? It doesn't make sense. We have anti-conservative violence campaigns, even from the Democrats. They've been doing this for years. And the proof is on the casings. Now, is that set up to be some kind of false flag? Who knows? Could it be, hey, so we can get more censorship crackdown? Could it be we want to get all these rifles with serial numbers because Grandpa's World War I Mauser that wasn't used in that because the damage did not relate to that size round. But maybe we should make sure we have everybody's firearms on a database. In the media, they'll slice the story into a million tiny sound bites, man. Politicians will posture and demand action. All these neocons. And your feed on social media will be full of performative outrage and cultivated misinformation. Don't be baited. Okay? Now, obviously, start taking notes. You go to big events, look at rooftops, guys. Look at rooftops. No BS. Anyway, I want to put this information out there, man. The boyfriend gone is the weirdest thing, but you see the link between the two. You see the link between the two. Rooftop shooter. I think these things are going to get worse, guys. And maybe it's all by design. Anyway, guys, I do appreciate you watching me. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Stay frosty. Stay strapped. Always stay dangerous. Take care.